Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.
Transue from Dockside Media, and you're listening to Alien Strand Podcast with Donald Ledesma. For the dopest paranormal documentaries this side of the Milky Way, visit docksidemedia.com for links to all our films on major streaming platforms. Until next time, keep on keeping on.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Alien Strand Podcast. I'm your host, Donald Ledesma, and welcome to today's show. Gonna be a really, really good one. I was able to put the commercial out yesterday, so I'll get you guys here live on. We're actually live on Facebook and we're live on YouTube as well. So, but if you have a chance, catch us on 26, 27 platforms: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. We're all over the place, man. So if you have a chance, check us out there. You know, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, 27 platforms, man. What can you ask for? So we're all out there. Ask Alexa. She'll play Alien Strand for you. We got a lot of podcasts out there, and we have a lot of information as far as the UFOs and all that good stuff that happens up in the skies. I always say you keep your eyes in the skies, because you never know what you're gonna miss out on, when you're in the car or whatever. But always pull over. You know what I mean? Pull over. Be safe. Be as safe as you possibly can. That way you can get that footage out there, to everybody out there that it's actually wanting to see it. And we'll stream it here on Facebook as well. So you can send me all that stuff. You could send me an email at alienstrand.com there, or alienstrand at gmail.com. So send me that there. Today's going to be a very special day. So today I have really, really good friends of mine, which is Tyler Transue and Chris Ruppert. So they are the filmmakers of Sasquach, my favorite topic, right? The only reason is because it's just so strange, right? It's so strange how this creature's out there, and so many people are just intrigued by what's going on. And the film is called Secrets of the Sasquach. So today's number 78, and we're dedicating this one to them, so that way they can give us a lot more information on this film that they actually put out there. It's not out yet. It's going to be released, but I was able to pre-screen it, and I saw it myself. Like I said, it's a very, very good, very well made Sasquatch documentary, and it's very important. I think everything that everything that everybody puts out there, right? As far as documentaries, even these podcasts, is very important to everybody in the ufology area. You know what I mean? Because I think it all kind of coincides in that sense. You know what I mean? As far as what we're trying to do to try to find the answers, right? And it's just our thing here at Alien Strand. We're always just trying to get the information out to you, right? And we always tell everybody here that we're not here to make you believe. That's just for you to decide, right? So, today is an exciting day for Alien Strand too, because I always talk about on all my podcasts that I'm going to go live, right? You're going to see my face to the actually Alien Strand. So today's our first one, and I'm glad I was able to bring these guys on with me so we can talk about their film, right? Their documentary. It's very, very important. But like I said, catch us on all these platforms. If you like the way we're doing things here, just give us a thumbs up, give us a shout out there, throw some comments there on this Facebook, and that way we can see that we're doing a good job. But until then, let's just go ahead and get these guys on, really good friends of mine, and we're going to talk about, their film that they're going to release here pretty soon, and we're just going to have a nice conversation about it, right? So without further ado, let's go ahead and get Chris on now.
Yeah.
Bam, there he is.
Bam. Thank you, Donald.
And yes, and then now we're going to get Tyler. There's Tyler right there, Transue. So you guys, I know you guys been doing filmmaking for quite a bit already, a few years, and you sent me this the documentary, the pre-screening of Secrets of the Sasquach. Before we get into that, I kind of want to pick your brains on what you think about the Sasquatch and what brought you guys into this topic to make a movie or a film about it. So what's your guys' ideas on Sasquatch and Bigfoot?
Sure. So first thing, though, Donald, thanks for having us on again. We had a blast the last time we were on, and thanks for having us on your inaugural video live version of the podcast. Super exciting. Everybody gets to see your face now. We were the only we got to see it before, but now everybody else gets to see it.
Which is crazy. So for 77 episodes, his loyal followers had a mental image of who they thought Donald Ledesma was. But so this is great. Their worlds might be crumbling right now.
Exactly, because I might not be the Sean Connery that they want to see.
Oh no, I was quite I knew. Yeah, I'm like, oh dude, this is great. So I'm really happy, man, that you moved the video. This is great. Chris, go ahead.
Now it is a weird thing though. If you've listened to a podcast for a while and then somebody puts out a video, you're like, wait, that's what they look like? Because you do form opinions based on preconceptions and history of what you think somebody's gonna look like. But okay, so Secrets of Sasquatch. Yeah, last time we were on, we were talking about Conscious Contact Full Disclosure, which is an alien documentary. From there, we went into The Ghosts of Gettysburg, which released very shortly after that one, which is obviously a supernatural ghost documentary. And now, Secrets of the Sasquatch, which is coming out on July 5th. Pretty much everywhere you want to find it. Amazon, iTunes, Google, YouTube, PlayStation, Xbox, Vudu, for rental and purchase. But why did we go to that topic? I think it's pretty natural. When you're going through, obviously, Dockside Media, we cover supernatural stuff because that's what we are interested in. It's one of the top subjects, right? Sasquatch. But we had Sue Walker on Conscious Contact Full Disclosure, and at one point in the conversation, she mentioned Sasquatch, and then Tyler had talked to her a little bit, and it turned out she's just fountains of information and experiences with Sasquatch. So we're like, okay, let's put that one on the list. And then just like most things we do, there's some sort of synchronicity or some sort of fate that comes about where it's just these things manifest themselves, All these interviews we got, they weren't difficult to find. These people, I don't know, they just we put it out in the universe and they replied. So,
and I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, the Sue thing, the seed was planted, and like Chris said, it was fate. I was heading down to the beach, and I'm just dude, Secrets of the Sasquatch. We should make that documentary. I sent Chris the name because and he was like, yeah, dude, no, that sounds good. And so I think I just did like a short little hype promo video, whatever, from my phone, just saying, kind of hyping up that we're going to make this documentary Secrets of the Sasquatch. And dude, it was crazy. We just threw that into the universe and then followed through on it with scheduling campouts. Like Chris said, it was just insane how we stumbled upon the people that we did. And stories that they told.
I mean, the experience for me has been with a lot of creative projects and with a lot of films is you kind of have to manifest them. But once people see that you're motivated in doing something, people like to get on board with this kind of stuff. And so we're lucky enough, fortunate enough to get like these people that come onto our movies with their experiences because they're so authentic and so real. But Donald, I know you were going to say something before we interrupted you. We didn't answer.
No, it's just that I just wanted to kind of pick your brains on your beliefs on Bigfoot and what you personally think about this mysterious creature or what these people are seeing. Actually, a lot of people are seeing all over the United States, right? So there's a Bigfoot research. .com, right there. It's called BFR, BFRO.net, right? So on that one, they have a lot of information on Bigfoot as where the sightings mostly occur, right? And they have, of course, California, Washington, Ohio, Illinois, right? These are the top places where this Bigfoot is seen a lot. Of course, like California, 458 sightings, right? That's a lot. That's a lot of sightings there. I'm going to read you another one. Washington, 704, right? And then you have Florida, 336. That's just on the other side, right?
Yep.
So this creature or whatever it is all over the map. As far as eastern and western sides of the United States, and a little bit down up on the northern side of Texas as well. But how do you think that this creature or whatever it is, how do you think that it possibly may have got here or where it originated from?
Sure. So in general, my thoughts on Sasquatch, obviously, and we talked about this before when we were on your show, Donald. I'm the more skeptical person of Dockside Media. I love the subject matter. I find it fascinating and entertaining and fun, but I'm a very skeptical person. So for me, what is interesting is, like, we talk about Gigantopithecus. That is a factual scientific thing. We know it existed. If you were to get a Gigantopithecus and put it in your living room right now, everyone would go, that's a freaking Bigfoot in my living room. It's just a thing that existed. And so, knowing my place on Earth, like, we know there are tons of places on Earth where there are undiscovered creatures and life forms living in the deep ocean, and there's also in the deep forest. We were just actually on Bo's podcast, which is the Bump podcast, and he was talking about he lives in West Virginia, and there is a national park with 1 million acres of forest land. 1 million acres. Do you... Like, the human mind has trouble. Tyler talks about this, but like understanding scales like this, like 1 million acres is insane. Go 500,000 acres into that thing, and it'll be like the most isolated place on Earth. But when you go into the forest, there are thousands of creatures that are there and living, and this is their domain, and we don't see them because humans grow up, live in a house. We know our bubble, we know our world. But there's these things that are attuned for this situation, for this, ecosystem. That's where they live. That's their home. They know to hide from humans. They know to stay out of the sight. So to me, I don't know. I think there could be a creature out there that when you see it, you would say it's a Bigfoot that's just survived in the deep woods, knows how to evade, being seen and all that kind of stuff. I think it's a possibility. So we touch on that subject matter in our documentary because the thing we kind of strive to do is get like these different points of view and see if there's some sort of pattern that emerges. So that's my perspective. Tyler, I'll let you pontificate on that.
Yeah, I think, my gut feeling, a few years ago would have been, oh man, I think there's a good chance that there's some large, hairy hominid, bipedal creature that could go undetected. Yeah, or rarely detected.
Right.
Because, I've done, man, I feel I've hunted like 20 years and I've never gotten a deer, Donald. Never.
Wow.
And I've
That's
seen only.
that's actually kind of sad, though.
It is. And and I've only seen a handful.
Right.
But like, and that's me out there from like before sunrise till like after sundown, like looking for them. So. Right. It would be, I don't think it'd be like out of the realm of possibilities for some creature that just like naturally evolved to be able, a dog, its sense of smell is like incredibly heightened with something we can't comprehend. Like a turkey can see like the dust blow from a squirrel's fart at 100 yards right there. Right. That's like insane eyesight. So if something, like a Bigfoot, has lived all these years, it could certainly go undetected or very rarely. But I will say this: since Chris and I kickstarted Dockside Media, we've been making these docs like Conscious Contact, Full Disclosure, The Ghost of Gettysburg, now Secrets of the Sasquatch. Man, I love that we're getting information. Like, I would be open to interdimensional, interplanetary, right? Like, that's I just until we have verifiable proof, like, I won't really rule anything out, because there's a lot of stuff that was ruled out super quick by the scientific community because it went against like what people, what was the accepted norm, right? And people were like, slandered and criticized, and it's like, it turns out it's true. But so I try and keep every single possibility open. So man, I wouldn't be surprised if it comes to be something like that, which could help explain its elusiveness, tracks starting, stopping, disappearing. You mentioned about how widespread across the U.S., but man, we've got like Yeti sightings, right? In Russia,
Asia,
this stuff's like reported, worldwide, which
so
would
as far as I mean, I know it's some things can be a little far-fetched, or it's hard for the mind to process these things as far as far as a different thing other than human, right? Like UFOs. It's hard for people to understand what they are, where they come from. Interdimensional, you just mentioned it. It's hard to put that in an actual. How do you say, like, to be concrete, that way people can feel it, touch it, and smell it, and everything, right? So, and that's what you're pretty much talking about. Sasquatch, the same thing, I've had pictures that I posted out there of Bigfoot, looking inside of somebody's window. I think we talked about it the last time. It's and then there's like 3 or 4 or 5 different versions of this creature, right? The way it looks at times, the massiveness of the shoulders and the hairiness, the different colors, right? But that's the way we are as humans as well, right? Where some of us are large, some of us are small, different color hair, eyes, you name it, right?
Yep.
But the thing that I'm trying to put together here is that I just want to make sure that everybody understands that it's a possibility that this thing is out there now. It's as far as you thinking, have you, when you talk to anybody about it communicating, like they talk about the door, the tree knocking, right? The whoop sounds that people try to communicate with this. Have you seen anything like that online or witnessed it yourself in a sense?
Well, one, I will say, before we get into that, I think humanity in general has a hard time seeing beyond their bubble, beyond their perspective. I mean, we witness that politically easily. That's noticeable in the United States. It's either you're on this side or that side. It's like there's no in between, and so it's easy to dismiss like subjects like the Sasquatch and stuff. But going back to the tree knocking and the woot sounds, I mean, there are societies currently on like island nations and stuff where whistling is still a form of communication because it travels so far, like 1.5 miles or something, so they can use that in their society, in their group. And so like if there is some sort of creature or species that has grown up and that's their form of communication. Like, that is a obviously working form of communication as humanity currently uses it. Right. You know what I mean? Like, we talked about it on, like, when we talk about conscious contact, like us trying to take these thoughts and get them out in this language that we've somehow arbitrarily developed with the mouth noises we are able to make from our bodies is not the optimal way to communicate, but it works, right? In some sense. Right. And I can communicate with my pug. It's probably one of the dumbest kind of dogs alive. I love her to death, but she's not smart. But I can still communicate to her on certain levels. She understands it. So, like, I don't know what the, like, you know, the brain capacity for a Sasquatch is. Either they're just like an animal that's survived. Maybe they're some, alien intelligence and they're way smarter. But I don't know. But either way, I think they have to have some sort of communication method, and those make sense, especially for their environment.
Tyler, what do you think about that?
Tyler says, I'm going to mute. Tyler muted. What a fail.
Yo, good call. Nah, I had to start the car first, because here's what's up, man. You're like, oh, dude, are we into this stuff? Well, yeah, man, I'm on vacation down at the beach, but I'm sitting outside the Starbucks parking lot, copping their Wi-Fi so I can run these, get back on these podcasts, man, and talk about this stuff. So, but yeah, now that I'm unmuted, I was saying, I want to go back to what you said. I love about, like, can the human mind even comprehend this stuff sometimes? Because you think about this, like, all these, like, sightings of angels and whatnot from ancient times. Well, dude, no doubt, like, you would call a light streaking across the sky or stopping, doing 90, like, doing various maneuvers, hovering. Like, yeah, you would, what else would you call it? You wouldn't know a jet. You wouldn't know anything else. So, it's interesting that, right, these types of things, right, like, it could be hard for people sometimes, to maybe even see something like that. Like, as our brain evolved to, like, protect us, or whatever, or we associate it, with right. Whatever. Like, I think, if the interdimensional thing comes into play, right. That changes things up and explains a lot. And I like, as far as the communication, I like that we had Sue Walker in Secrets of the Sasquatch, and she had some very interesting stuff to share regarding telepathic communication with them. So I saw that. And I wouldn't be surprised with that, right? Why?
Yeah, but it's. People have talked about the Sasquatch as far as, like, they see it and then it disappears, right? And they're thinking, okay, is this thing alien or is it an actual being or whatever? Because the way it just disappears so quickly. And
between aging and busy lifestyles, many women struggle with maintaining their physical and mental wellness. At Aquavita Concierge Healthcare Services for Women, we can help you revitalize your health and reclaim your life. We start from within by balancing your hormones, allowing your body to achieve and maintain desired weight goals. We also specialize in peptide therapies, regenerative medicine, sexual health, and aesthetics in our state-of-the-art facilities. Feel better, look better, live better at Aquavita. Visit aquavitality.com and begin your journey today.
Lean on us.
We are here for you.
You matter.
You are not alone.
Are you feeling overwhelmed? Not sure where to turn? The National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there for you 24/7. Call or text 988 or chat at 988sc.org. Whether you're having an emergency or you know someone who needs support now, they can help you take the next step towards finding hope and healing.
There is hope. 988sc.org.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Fast. You know what I mean? Sometimes
Yep.
they say that they see this thing like in a mist as well. You know what I mean? Almost like a ghost in a sense. And those are the kind of confusing things that our brain tries to put it together in a sense, because it's not in a physical sense sometimes.
Yep.
And then whatever our eyes see, mainly is what we're trying to put together as well. Now, as far as like, now I'm going to pick your brain again on something else. Okay, same thing though, but. So, okay, they're known for their feet, the tracks, right? So, on a primate, you always see the actual, it's kind of spread out this way, the actual foot of any ape or gorilla or anything like that. Now, most of these tracks that they're finding out there almost look like a human foot, but a huge one. You know what I mean? Gigantic. What are your thoughts on that kind of processing?
Well, I mean, one, I wanted to comment on not remembering facts. Like, I just experienced something recently because I was on vacation last week. Tyler already knows all about this, but we were driving somewhere. My wife was driving. I was in the passenger seat. We were outside of Pittsburgh in like we were staying at a national forest. So it's like outside of Pittsburgh, but it's more rural on the Ohio border. And that area has tons of airports. So there's always planes landing and flying. Coming around a turn, and I see this plane in the air, and it's pointed downward like it's landing. It's like a 20-degree angle, 30-degree angle, pointed towards the ground.
Right.
But it's not moving. I was like, is this like a balloon type thing? Like, because it was a little bit far away, but we're getting closer. Right. And then we turn around this turn, and I'm seeing it as like if it's like a 3D model, like where I could, see like the detail as you move around it. Right. And it's still not moving. And I like looked at my wife, and then I'm like, did you see that? And she's driving. She didn't see anything. And I turned. My kids are in the back seat. I'm like, guys, what did you see? And she's like, that plane wasn't moving. And so I immediately got on Facebook, and I messaged Tyler. I'm like, dude, we got to stop doing these paranormal documentaries. I just saw a plane that like glitched or something. It's not moving. He like sent me like, well, there's this Cessna that can like do this thing. So like it would appear like it's not. And maybe that's the case.
Well, like flying into a headwind, right? It can get a ground speed of 0.
Yeah, and maybe to the brain it looks or like it registered as like this plane kind of just like frozen in time. But either way,
there's one in Mexico City like that. There's a Cessna or some kind of plane coming towards them, and it's just like still. It's not even moving. It's in the air like a couple of minutes, and he's just looking at it. He goes, it's not even moving. What the heck? It looks like it's frozen in time up there. But I guess it's what Tyler's talking about. 0 speed, right? But how is that possible? But I guess
only with a super small plane like a Cessna. So Chris, I mean, I don't. Well, are you saying it was definitely big? He said he doesn't remember if it was a propeller on the front or jet engines on the side.
Tyler, but that's 100% my point. We were talking about like these details of these events and stuff. And it's so understandable to me, especially having just witnessed that, where it's like Tyler asked me questions about the plane. I don't remember the details about the plane because the way my brain is wired, I was focused on the weirdness, the fact that this thing was pointed downward and wasn't moving. So I don't remember those little details. And so that's where like everybody latches on, all the conspiracy theorists and all that kind of stuff. And I get it. Like I understand they want all this detail, but it's like our minds are not made that way, especially when we witness something that is so unusual and so unexpected. It was like we focus on certain aspects. Obviously, people have different thought processes and minds and stuff, so that they can maybe remember more details. But for me, it was like, I just remember this freaking plane. It was not super small, but it wasn't huge either. But it was weird. And like, so yeah, that was my comment on that. Like, I can understand now, like, why when people have their experiences, they describe something, they don't have all the details. But what you look for in these kind of stories and these experiences, patterns for me, and that makes it way more credible. Yeah, they might be describing it, in different words, but it's still essentially the same idea, but that adds more credibility to me. So that was my comment on that. So you asked a question about footprints.
Right.
And I know we went on quite a bit of a tangent there, so I apologize, Donna. But footprints, your thought was like, well, they're so much bigger, right, than a human. I mean, based on every description I've ever seen of a Sasquatch, is they're much larger than a human. So obviously that makes sense in just general terms. But in our documentary, we have this woman, Desiree, who's just like interested in this kind of subject matter. And she randomly had an experience where she like went to do something and stumbled upon like this massive footprint. And it's clear, like we have a picture in the documentary, so you have to rent it or buy it or whatever if you want to see it. But it's like, it looks like a human's footprint, but like, I don't know, 3 or 4 times larger.
Right.
It's bizarre, right? It is bizarre. I don't know how to explain it.
And it was weird. It happened like just shortly before she went on this camp out. Like it was weird. Like I feel like, I don't know, I got to check the receipts. Like it was almost like we put out the post, hey, we're doing a camp out on such and such date. She's like, oh, hey, yeah, no, I'd be down to go. And then messages us, like I forget what it was, a week later, hey, I was just, like out with my daughter and the creek bed was kind of dried up and still, I'm like, what? This is crazy.
Yeah, weird synchronicity.
Yeah.
Wow. So I almost like it knew what you guys were thinking in a sense.
Exactly. Hey, Donald, though, I have a question for you. Like,
go ahead.
I know you love Sasquatch, the idea of it, but what do you believe? Like, what is your thought process about the existence?
Hey, of what everybody sees out there, and a lot of these videos, and of course we got all these Bigfoot shows now on Ancient Aliens and all that good stuff, all these big old programs that they have now. It kind of makes me wonder more about it. Do I believe in Sasquatch and Bigfoot? Yeah, I do. I just think that, like you said earlier, What makes us say that this thing hasn't been hiding for all these years, in caves or just kind of out there, but not really multiplying in a sense? Maybe they're the way they're made can't really multiply like we do, but in a sense that, now that these sightings, I'm starting to look at, there's more dots on the map now, right? More than ever, but which is going to come back to my question. I'm kind of spitting in the wind here in a sense. Are they multiplying now? You know what I mean? To where we're starting to see more of them. Now people are starting to get photos of these young ones now. They look like the size of a teenager in a sense, right? I posted a photo of it. Looked like almost like a baby one on the side of a river that somebody took randomly. Didn't even know that was there until they kind of went back on the photo and they captured it there, right? So, and these are the things that intrigued my mind as far as Bigfoot. And, could have it been put here by aliens? Maybe. You know what I mean? How does this thing get here? You know what I mean? What's it about? Apparently it doesn't want anything, right? Because it's just in hiding. It's in the woods area, because if not, it'd be walking around in the city just like a deer would, close to the woods, right? And it wouldn't really care or nothing. But apparently it does, would not want to be seen in a sense. It's probably afraid of us as much as we're afraid of it, because there's horror stories about it, up in Washington, and things that have happened, when you aggravate this beast or animal, right? It's territorial in a sense, right? It protects its area, right? And then I think you all guys touched on one being of more of a master than the other, you know what I mean, to take over, and then it goes on its own later, but it's going to take it just like us, we're going to take care of our own area wherever we're at as far as our home. So and I don't see any different in that, how it acts and how we act with it, and how we kind of coincide with it. So I do believe that there is a Bigfoot out there. I do believe people are seeing this thing. Yes. Is there a lot of fake stuff out there? Yeah, we see it all the time, right? And you can pretty much tell on that. Now, let's touch back just a little bit. So they have the famous Patterson, right, film. I think we talked about it the last time as well.
Yep.
And there's a lot of this way and that way on that film. What are your thoughts on that? That actually 58-second film that came out.
Yeah, well, your first question was, do you think they're spreading? And I would say maybe, but I think maybe just technology and like the ability to record video and photos with your cell phone at any time and stuff, maybe that makes it easier to get the footage you need. Like, we notice this in the rest of society with like all these events and stuff that, you know, happened in the past during like the civil rights movement and stuff that you would have never got footage of because people didn't have cell phones. But now you can get any footage happening. There's somebody pulling out their phone. So it's just like the nature of society now, right? Where
exactly.
It's hard to miss something. However, having had that experience with the plane, people always go, why didn't you get your phone out and view it? Because when you see something unexpected and surprising and kind of brain-breaking, the last thought you have is like, oh, I should get this out and film it. It's like you're just trying to comprehend what you're seeing. So by the time I thought about, let's get around and film it, we were like past that point. Do you know what I mean? So there's that aspect. So like, I don't know. My point is like, yes, there's so much more ability to see these things because everybody has a camera, but also this is why sometimes you don't see these things, even though people say they've experienced it.
And we're never going to get that clear picture either, where they're going to stand there and pose for you, right?
Exactly.
You're never going to get that. It's just going to be, they're going to be gone. Now, let's go ahead and start talking about your film. So it's called The Secrets of Sasquach, right? Of the Sasquach. Mm-hmm. What areas did you travel to, part of the country, to find these folks, and how did y'all get that going as far as that?
Go ahead, Tyler. Talk about that.
Yeah, no problem, man. Every time it gets back to me, there's like 15 questions. I was like, oh, dude, I wanted to mention this. I wanted to mention that. I will mention this, man, and then I'll get to that question. But yeah. I think a lot of people, man, the sightings and stuff and the interest could just be like, dude, more people are interested in it, more talking about it. There's more shows being made. So there's more people like looking around. I know, I try and look up at the sky more when I'm out at night. And I'll be darned if last night down here at the beach, there's this there were like two blinking planes obviously flying past, but then there's like this solid light or orb that's tracking across the sky. And like Chris said, your brain, you're trying to make sense of it, and then eventually I get the phone out and I've got just like the Note 20 Ultra, like it definitely 20x zoom with video. It's just filming at 60 frames per second, all this stuff. And actually, at the 60 frames, it only goes to 10x. I don't want anybody calling me out later, so I will clarify. But but at 30 frames per second, it'll do 20x zoom video. But at any rate, dude, I filmed this thing, and I'm just like, all right, I'm going to film it at, like at a wide angle, zoom in then. I mean, dude, even on the zoom with this current phone, it doesn't do it justice. You can't it's not what I saw. Like the phone's trying to interpret that, the best it can with the available light. So like, I don't know. It's neat. And I've just had occurrences where seeing like Starlink satellites cruise across the sky where had I not seen a video on YouTube, I would have thought aliens were invading, because that is insane seeing that.
I've seen that.
Yeah, so like it happened during one of the Secrets of the Sasquatch campouts, dude, out in the middle of nowhere. So we're like, it just comes. I'm like, oh my God, holy cow, guys, this is this is nuts. I'm like, I've seen a video. I'm pretty sure this is Starlink, but it's just like this roller coaster or train of dude, it's insane. And then because our brains always want to automatically assume or generate, oh, that is a lit object. It's emitting light. It is not, it's not reflecting light. It has a light on it. And it's like, oh, dude, no, this Starlink, you would think these are all having lights, a big light, and then it goes into the shadow of the Earth. So what it does, it just disappears, right? Like whatever, freaky. 20 degrees up in the horizon, you're like, wormhole! What? So, it's great. But the thing I saw last night, was super odd. Tried to film it, couldn't get a good film on a great cell phone. And even was like, all right, well, I went behind the tree. I'll walk out this way so I can just see it. Walked out, gone, dude. Like, what is going on? This is crazy.
Yeah. Nice.
So who knows? Yeah, it's interesting what you see when's up there. But how do we get these people?
Right.
Well, Sue Walker planted the seed. So I just had mentioned some breadcrumbs, which, propelled us to say, let's make a documentary, Secret to the Sasquatch. So I knew I needed to get her interview. I put some campouts for like Western Pennsylvania. A guy that Randy Smith, who's in the documentary, he had sightings, on some land up where he grew up in like Northeast Pennsylvania, out in remote wilderness. And so what was cool, let me just say about him, is I love, like, Randy, I can just tell, like, he's a woodsman. He's a hunter. During this camp out, it's 26 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, freezing cold. He's picking up lit logs barehanded and moving them to rearrange them like it's nothing. Like it's just, that's how you do things. And just because we're out there and it's in the woods, he's got to be doing something like that. He's like fishing, like in the freezing cold, handling lures and all this wet, freezing cold water. I'm like, man, this guy is, and so like when he says, hey, that was a turkey, that was a fox, that was a squirrel, he knows all of those sounds. And so if he's saying he saw a Sasquatch,
he saw one.
He heard a Sasquatch. Randy saw and heard a Sasquatch. I don't doubt that. And he's just the type of like hunter and woodsman where we're doing the camp out. It's like 10 o'clock at night. A gunshot goes off and it's close by, like a half mile, like not far, a mile. And he's like, so-and-so got a deer. Bob got a deer. I got to go up and see. I got to go help him gut it.
Wow.
Like that's just what, and I'm thinking, dude, it just started snowing right now. It's snowing in the mid now low 20s or whatever. People are freezing and you want to go gut this deer? Oh my gosh. Yeah. It was cool to like interview him. And let's see, Sue Walker made it in. She pointed me in the direction of Alfred Martinez, who is also out in that Albuquerque, New Mexico area, which is super. It was great interviewing him. Again, I could tell that the guy hunts. That's all. Like that's what he grew up doing. He understands. Oh yes, bear can stand up on their hind leg and do like dude. No, he understands all that. If he's saying this was like a large Sasquatch creature, like man, I'm inclined to believe him. And just the neat stories that he shared, just about the old railroad tracks going back through there and getting like damming it up and getting rid of that. Man,
I loved his story. Just his story alone really got my attention as well. As far as when I watched it, and it's just one of those things, man. When these people see these things, it's kind of hard to explain it to somebody else what you're seeing, because if you don't have a photo or a video of it, it's just kind of hard. But when you hear the details in everything that they're talking about, as far as like how it stood up, how the hairs looked, or whatever, even if it looked at me and it just stood there, you're going to remember stuff like that, and that's why I was asking, the areas. So you're looking at what, New Mexico, Pennsylvania, what was that other one that y'all went to? It was a third place, right?
So, Tom Nutter was down, had reported sightings down in experiences down in West Virginia with knocks and such, and footprints out in the middle of nowhere. And then, those were the areas that we interviewed or had experiencers from. And then we also had Tom Carey, who is like a degreed anthropologist, right? So it was very interesting to just get his input and insight from a more scientific and scholarly background. And man, you're like, how did we get these interviews? Man, a lot of it's like fate, really. Yeah. Like the the Tom Carey, we went to interview him for In Plain Sight, the Intelligence Community and UFOs, which is the documentary Chris is finishing up right now. And we're getting ready to send to the distributor, and that'll be out late summer, early fall. We'll send you that, Donald. Don't worry,
Nice,
bro.
thank
You'll get it. You'll get a pre-screener on that. But like, so we're going to interview him on that. And yeah, it comes up during that interview that he is a degreed anthropologist and, you know, is into, has, you know, some expertise on Sasquatch. And so, yeah, we're like, oh man, dude, can we go sit you in that chair over there? We'll flip these lights around, flip these cameras, change your shirt, you know, go through all this and get that interview.
You have to, man.
Yeah. So it was fate. Like, you know what I mean? Like we had more or less all the interviews, but we kept saying, man, like
we need an anthropologist or something.
We just need somebody that's degreed and can speak from that angle. And I'll be darned if it didn't the universe didn't materialize it for us. And real quick plug for In Plain Sight, the Intelligence Community UFOs. That also has Richard Doty, who's former Air Force Office of Special Investigations counterintelligence officer. So he's led an incredible life. And I also interviewed retired CIA officer John Ramirez, who's had some great ideas as well as some awesome experiences and meetings he had been in and stuff that had been disclosed to him. So that doc is just going to be sick. But as far as all the areas, that's for Secrets of the Sasquatch. We got we put some posts out. Desiree and Eric Hubbard. We went and did a camp out in Western PA, and it was great. And we got some cool footage. He was out there with like the infrared camera. We set up some different like lures and whatnot to try and bring in Sasquatch, and it was just insane for me to like video. I'm like, oh man, they had this red flashlight that they're shining through the woods. I'm like, guys, man, I need to be out in the woods so the audience can see that you were doing this. Looks insane, but I nearly lost my dude. I was like, the hairs on the back of my neck were standing up as I'm out in the woods by myself in pitch black dark, like hoping I'm not falling over stuff, thinking like, dude, a Sasquatch could just pluck me out
from behind.
Nobody would ever see me, hear from me again. But like, I go into all these adventures, all these experiences, with just like, dude, nothing but positive intentions and like an open mind. Like, I'm not here to harm anybody, right? Or make anybody look bad. I just want to hear these people's experiences, or for these like campouts. Let's go with good intentions and see what we find. And it was just a beautiful thing that like the gentleman, Eric Hubbard, how he came on the camp out. He's this guy, like his wife even said, she's like, what are you doing? Like, you don't like people. Like, why? And he's just like, I feel compelled to go. And he's a guy that was like, lived in Baltimore inner city 5 years ago, moved out to like the country here in Pennsylvania, got interested in Sasquatch and was like, man, I need to like go investigate. I need to move my feet and get some answers myself. And so he's doing a great thing. But like, it was awesome that, it was just fate that brought him into this documentary. And it was an awesome thing. He was also a guy, credit to him, growing up in the city, man, he has taught himself some incredible survival skills in a short amount of time. Like, he rolled up, and I just knew we were in good hands, because again, it was a very, very cold night. And
it looked like it was cold out there when y'all were doing that filming.
Like mid-20s. It's freezing.
Now that because we're already cutting down on our time, but let me before we go, I'm gonna play something for you guys, and I just want to hear your feedback on these vocalizations that are out there. So I'm gonna go ahead and play that now, so that way you guys can listen to it and just tell me what you think as far as what you're hearing. Okay, here we go.
Can't hear anything though, Donald.
Chris, you can't either?
Nope.
Dude, oh my gosh, yo, it was
Yeah.
Russian roulette. We would have sat here for 5 minutes, so that's why I started going like this. I can't hear.
I was like
Chris
waiting.
and I
Is
were
it like
looking
very
for,
subtle? Or?
I only have one earbud in, so I'm like, if I'm not hearing it in this one, the other one's broken. I don't know. I just assumed Chris was listening to it.
I guess when we play it back, if you guys play it back later, you'll be able to hear it. I guess you can't hear it because it's going through the streamer. So what it is just vocalizations of a Bigfoot, and the hoots, the sounds, the banging of the trees.
Yeah.
Just kind of getting a little bit of material out there as far as like so people can hear these sounds that these creatures make. Now before we leave, you guys, I saw, like I said, this documentary. I was really happy what I saw, and everything was great. I enjoyed it 150%.
Thanks, dude.
Where can people find your documentary?
Yeah, man. So, Secrets of the Sasquatch, it comes out July 5th, and it'll be wide, so that means it's going to be on Amazon, iTunes, Xbox, PlayStation platforms, Vudu, Google, basically anywhere you look for a movie, you'll be able to find it. You'll be able to rent it and purchase it. And then please check it out. And if you like it, and if it interests you, or if you had questions or whatever, just leave a review. That helps out the movie, but it also gets us, we get to see your thoughts on the thing. That's super helpful for us because we want to hear from you guys. And then also we have, Conscious Contact Full Disclosure if you're more into the alien stuff, which is a really interesting documentary as well that's out available now. And, of course, The Ghosts of Gettysburg, which was a very memorable experience. I'll just say that. One of the kind of adventure kind of things where we actually went out and, stayed on the battlefield of Gettysburg and had a seance and all kinds of stuff. So that one's really cool, really interesting documentary. So check all our stuff out. And then if you want to get in touch with us, man, just go to Dockside Media or go to our social media, which is Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Dockside Media, and you can send us a message and we'll get back to you. Tyler has something to say, though. He saw the finger of information. Go for it.
I was letting you finish, but I wanted to make sure you didn't go off without telling them about, this is live. So here's what's up. July 9th to July 10th, we are doing a camp out at a haunted cemetery in the ghost town of Pandemonium because we're making a 5th documentary, Ghosts in the Graveyard, Pure Pandemonium. So
nice.
if anybody watching is in Pennsylvania, this Pandemonium is like a little bit 30 minutes like north of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, so like central south central Pennsylvania or whatever. Dude, we'd love to have you come aboard. We've got a bunch of people coming, and we're gonna make it just an awesome doc there as well. But if anybody's interested, you follow our pages. We've been making the posts, putting the flyers out, and that's how we've gotten the people that we've gotten so far.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys for being on the show today. We got a lot of information out there on your documentary that's going to be coming out here pretty soon, probably in a week, right? Mm-hmm. So people will be able to find it. I'm going to add links to this on the actual podcast on Spreaker.com. And I really enjoy talking to you guys and picking your brain on Bigfoot because it's a topic that people kind of like iffy about sometimes.
Sure.
But I want to make sure that people know where your mindset is and everything like that, especially for the documentary. And you guys are right on track. To get the information because that's pretty much what it is, man. And you guys are doing a great job. Thank you for that. Thank you for doing what you do out there. Because it takes a lot of energy and a lot of time out of your personal time to make these documentaries and go out there and do these films. And it's just to get the information to everybody to see it in a different angle, right? And that's that's what you guys are doing, and I'm glad that you guys are doing it. But hey, guys, thank you for being on the show, and I appreciate you, man, and I applaud you guys.
Donald.
I applaud you guys for what you do, and it's just one of those things, man, that you guys rock. And when you have the other one up pretty soon, give me a holler back. I'll get you guys back on the show, and I'm sure people would love to hear your thoughts and everything about the next documentary and how it went, right? So anyway, but thank you guys, Tyler Transue and Chris, thank you, man. Ruppert, thank you for being on the show. And you guys are awesome dudes. And like I said, we'll keep in touch. I'm going to point everybody to your direction as far as your documentary on this podcast. And that way people can go and watch it and enjoy it, okay? So, again, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys.
Yo, congrats on your first video pod, dude. I loved it, man. I thought
Thanks,
you crushed
Donald.
it. Yep, soup to nuts, bro. Great job.
Thank you, brothers. All right, you have a nice vacation, and you just get some rest, drink some more water.
I'm good, bro.
All right, brothers. We'll talk to you guys later. All right.
All right, catch you on the flip side.
Yes, sir. All right. Bye-bye. All right. Well, there you have it. You know, we had Tyler Transue and Chris Ruppert. You know, and they made this documentary. They sent it to me, and I was able to pre-screen it before it actually comes out. So I'm gonna put all the information on this podcast to their film, and that way, if you guys are interested in watching it, I hope you do. You know, it's a lot of information, right? To take in, and you know, we just want people to be out there to watch these documentaries and to learn, right? Because that's what it's about. It's about learning. So thank you guys for watching it here on Facebook and on YouTube. I really appreciate you guys. I always talk for about a good 45 minutes to an hour, but I'm glad you guys stuck around, okay? So catch us on YouTube, alienstrand.com, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram. We're all over the place, 27 platforms. Thank you guys for having us on the show today and watching the show. So thank you for the comments, and we'll talk to you guys later. But until then, guys, have yourselves a good day. Have yourselves a good evening. And have yourselves a good night.
Hi, this is Kelly Green with Realty Executives, Coastal Bend in Corpus Christi, Texas. And you're listening to the Alien Strand podcast with Donald Ledesma. Buying or selling, visit me at kellygreenrealtor.com or visit me on my Facebook page, Kelly Green Realtor. See you there.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.